In this video, I'm going to show you how to run a regression using Stat Tools, which is an add-in to Excel. I'm going to use as my example the beta regression model that we discussed in class. The model hypothesizes that a stock's rate of return can be broken into two components. One component is a linear function of the overall market's rate of return, as represented by the Standard & Poor's index, plus the second component, which is an error term. The items in stock's rate of return we refer to as the dependent variable. It's the thing we're trying to explain. And the S&P rate of return we refer to as the independent variable. The items in blue are what we're going to estimate. That includes the intercept term, which is in this model known as alpha, the slope of the function, which in this case is known as beta, and the standard deviation of the error term, which is also known as the standard deviation of the estimate. Here's the data I'm going to use for the regression. It includes the monthly percentage return for the Standard & Poor's indices from June 1983 up to November of 2003, and the monthly percentage return of IBM from the same period of time. Running the regression is essentially a two-step procedure. In the first step, we load the data into Stat Tools, and then in the second step, we tell Stat Tools what regression to run. So let's click on the Stat Tools menu. The first step, entering the data, is done from the Dataset Manager tab. I'm going to click on that. And we have to enter the data. We have to essentially tell the program where the data is. And so we click on New. And then we have to add the data. To do that, we come over here to the Select the Range button. And the range I'm going to select goes from A1. Notice I'm including the labels of the data in the range, all the way down to, I'm going to go down to I-247, where the percentages end. And then I hit OK. And once I have it in, I hit OK. And now I can do the second step of the procedure, which is go back to the Stat Tools menu and go to the Regression and Classification. There's a drop-down button and drop-down box, and I want the regression in the drop-down. Click on that. And what comes up is a box. The only basic things that you have to do to get a regression is tell Stat Tools what the independent variable is. In this case, that would be the percentage S&P change, and the dependent variable, in this case, would be the percentage IBM change. And you click on that. And once you have those two things clicked, the only thing you have to do is say OK. And up pops the regression analysis output. For us, there are four critical elements in the output, and I'm going to mark them in yellow. One is the R squared. Sometimes we'll refer to the adjusted R squared. When there's a single X variable, the R squared and the adjusted R squared tend to be very similar. The adjusted R squared is more useful for comparing models. The second item is the constant. That's the alpha in the beta model. And the next number is the slope of the model, which was the beta in the beta model. And the other critical number is the p-value of the beta. And I'll also mark this in yellow. And that completes the video on how to run a regression.